Kai just punched him in the face.
I hope that's his nickname, is Kingfisher. Fingers crossed. The MMC is a shadow wielder. Oh my god. This entire vlog is just me mispronouncing things. You're welcome. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this reading vlog, you're going to be seeing a lot of my best friend here. We are attached at the hip. My Kindle. I bring this thing with me absolutely everywhere, so I thought this video was very fitting. I've been seeing a lot of romantasy books on TikTok gaining traction and getting really popular, and a lot of them happen to be on Kindle Unlimited. So in this video, I'm going to be reading strictly Kindle Unlimited romantasies, and I have already started Quicksilver. And then the other books I have my sights on for this video, let me find my list. Besides Quicksilver, the other books that I have my eye on are Of Blood and Ether, Metal Slinger, and City of Gods and Monsters. So those are the 4 books that I'm kind of choosing from in this video. I don't think I'm gonna read all 4 of them, but we shall see. I still want to give you guys the list just in case you didn't know that those books are in fact on Kindle Unlimited. So like I said, I started Quicksilver. I've been listening to the audiobook a little bit today, and I am, let me see how far in I am. I think I'm like 12% through. Yeah, I'm on chapter 6. I am 12% through, and I've been seeing this book everywhere on TikTok, and it's a very popular romantasy right now. Although it is very popular, my expectations aren't very high just because a lot of people's reviews are just that it's a super fun read, but it's not the most groundbreaking like fantasy romantasy ever. I am excited for this book, but I don't think it's going to be the best piece of literature I've ever read. But I feel like it's very rare to pick up a romantasy book and be expecting it to be the best piece of literature. Okay. But from what I can take from this right now is that our main character, Saris, her name is Saris, and so our main character Saris, she is presumed to be a human. I don't know if she is, I kind of have doubts about it, but she's presumed to be a human. Like the city that she lives in, the realm that she lives in, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's ruled over by a queen, and my overall consensus is that she's kind of a bitch, and there's different wards, and I guess that's like class rankings and stuff, and our main character is in the poor class ranking, which is Ward 3, and basically there's like water rations and food rations and that type of stuff, where in the palace that's not the case. Obviously Saris just got taken by what I think is the mystery man on the front cover. I think so. I mean, he was described as like the most beautiful man she's ever seen and the tallest man she's ever seen, whatever. The way that he was introduced very, very obviously are MMC, I think. I'll feel very stupid if it's not him. She just got taken to the Fae world. I don't know what these things are called. It just happened like 5 minutes ago. But she just got taken by the Fae. She thought that the Fae were just like a bedtime story. Like she thought that they were like these mystical creatures, but they're very much real, and they're told as like literally every single fantasy book that you read where the humans are told that the Fae are like these awful creatures and all of this stuff, when it's actually the humans who are the awful people, you know? She's realizing that they're real, and she's like in shock right now. So that's where I'm at. I'm on page like 100. Yeah, I'm on like page 100. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. I'm going to go make dinner and then wrap some presents, I think. So that means I'll be listening to the audiobook while I do that. And then later tonight, I'm going to be reading it. Hi. So as you saw while I was wrapping presents, which by the way, I ate up. I had to look up a video on TikTok of how to properly tie like a bow, like an easy bow, like the off-center bow. I ran out of all of my ribbon though, so I will have to buy more because now I want to do it on every single person's present. I was listening to the audiobook, so now I am on chapter 12. I am 27% through, and I am on page 186. This is a almost 700-page book. Even though I have read plenty of books that are that long and longer, it doesn't sting any less every single time I see a page count over like 600. But I'm really liking this. Our main character, Kingfisher, I think is his name? Yeah, Kingfisher. I don't know what his actual name is. Is that his actual name? Because I hope that's his nickname, is Kingfisher. fingers crossed. I think he's absolutely hilarious. He is a broody, like, kind of, I don't know, the only thing I can think of is Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver, like as in like, you know, the superhero. So I'm really having a hard time not picturing him as Aaron Taylor Johnson. And they also have accents in the audiobook. like the side character, he's like the commander in the army. What the see, I just don't remember people's names. So right now, there's Lane, who is the king's daughter. Is there a map? I like a map. Are there dragons in this? Am I getting ahead of myself? I don't know, but he's like the Fae King. She's the daughter of the Fae King. Last I left off, Cerys was brought into the Fae realm, but she got brought into the Fae land that she did not think existed, and now she's surrounded by all of these Fae. So Quicksilver can help you like travel through portals, I think that's what it is. And so she's trying to get back to her human realm because her brother's in her human realm, and she's like, I don't know if the crazy human queen killed him or not, and so she wants to get back to obviously the human realm. So she's like helping them figure out how to do this, I guess. I don't know. And so that's where we're at. But like I said, Lane is the Fae King's daughter, and then we also have this other guy, I forgot his name. It's really not a hard name, but I forgot his name, and he's like the commander of the army. But he's like a broody guy, but he has like an Irish accent in the audiobook, so I'm loving that. And then there's Kingfisher, who like everyone fucking hates, and he was going to be executed in the first like 50 pages, and now he's not getting executed, so you don't really know a lot about him. But Lane's like over 1,000 years old, and then Kingfisher, I hate that name. Please tell me he has a different name. For the love of everything, can he have a different name? Fisher is almost 2,000 years old. And Cerys is like, what the fuck? Because she's like 24. She's like, you guys literally look my age. How are you almost 2,000 years old? So that's about it. I am really liking the plot of it. Again, they're trying to like figure out things, and they're like studying in a library and stuff, and they're like living in the palace. The different Fae kingdoms, I don't know what they're called, are like at war with each other, and they've been at war for like 1,000 years, or they've been at war for a long time apparently. And so they're at war, and they're trying to like help stop. I don't know. Honestly, don't really know that much, but I do like where this is going. I like the vibe of like them studying in a library. Very excited for the enemies to become lovers, probably around page like 500 or some ridiculous thing like that. And I will love every second of it. I'm being too loud for him right now, apparently. He doesn't like it when I talk and he's trying to sleep, and so he's pissed off. And because my light's on, but he's so cute, look at him. He's so pissed. Not the one eye. You're so goofy. Good morning. So it is now the next day, and I did in fact fall asleep right before I hit 200 pages. So I only read like 10 pages of Quicksilver last night. Yeah, I'm on page 196, so I didn't get very far. But I'm about to go to the gym. I haven't vlogged in like over a month, so I'm feeling very yappy. This is the fit. It's giving grouchy. I don't know. I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I'm at the gym, or at least while I am on the treadmill perchance when I'm walking. Hi. So it is now a little bit later. It is 2:45 and I have still been listening to the audiobook. I know, I knew. I need to actually like read it, but I went to the gym, I did a bunch of chores around the house, I made food, I made a matcha, I walked on the treadmill. Like I was doing quite a bit of stuff to where I couldn't read, but I wanted to continue the story, so hence the audiobook. But I just wanted to share some thoughts because I'm about 50% of the way through. So I'm 51% of the way through. And I am really liking this book, like really liking it. I love the scene. It's all set in like the snow. And Saris has a pet fox now. She kind of just... The fox just kind of stuck with her, so now they're stuck together. Fisher hates the fox and it's really funny. I always like whenever books incorporate some sort of animal, whether that is something way more interesting like a dragon or literally just like a fox, you know? I forgot how much I liked fae in fantasies. Like, I feel like it's been forever since I've read a book about fae. I think Cruel Prince is about fae. That's like a YA fantasy, so it's a little bit different than the fae in this world. It's one of my favorite like parts of fantasies is whenever there's fae, and I'm liking our characters. There's Ren, and Ren is the commander of the army, and he has an Irish accent, and Irish or Scottish? One of the two. He has one of those accents in the audiobook, and that is my favorite part about the audiobook is his accent, and I'm really wanting a book on just him because I absolutely love Ren. But I do want to stop listening to the audiobook really soon because Fisher says some really out-of-pocket things that has my jaw on the floor while I'm listening to it. So I feel like I need to read it because it's not necessarily cringy, but I feel like it could get cringy if I'm listening to it rather than words on paper, because I can in fact just skim over it if I don't like it. I might be able to finish it today. If I don't finish it today, I'm gonna get very close to it and I'll be able to finish it tomorrow. So there's vampires too? There's vampires too. Please, please, for the love of everything, tell me that there's fae and vampires. I would be very intrigued if there are vampires as well. Hi guys, so I ended up finishing the book last night, not yesterday morning, but I did end up finishing it and I will give a review once I get home. I'm about to go somewhere, but I wanted to give you an update of what book I'm going to start next. And the next book that I'm going to start is Metal Slinger because I've heard it's really fast-paced and it's also shorter than the other two books I want to read, so I need something fast-paced. It's like 430 pages. I don't know, but that's going to be the book that I'm starting today. But just a little sneak peek into my Quicksilver review. I loved it. loved it. So I will give you guys a review once I get home, but that is the next book that I will be starting. Hi guys, so it is now the next day. It is now Monday. Don't know why I just told you that because I haven't been telling you the days, but I finished Quicksilver Saturday night and I'm so excited to finally have the time to talk about it with you guys because, oh my god, there is a reason why it is popular on TikTok right now. And I was not expecting it to be the best piece of literature, so I went in with the right mindset. I've been kind of tough with ratings recently. I feel like I've been rating books just a little bit too seriously with the 0.25s and the docking points and stuff like I'm a teacher. So I'm rating this 5 stars because a week ago I would have said this was like a 4.75 or something because it didn't give me like the 5-star feeling. But I'm gonna try something new and just loosely rate everything. And by loosely rate everything, I mean not overthinking for days the rating that I gave a book. I enjoyed this book. I loved our characters, and each and every second of this book I was enthralled in. Like the plot of it, the scenery of it, like the wintry scenery, hello, and the plot twists and all of this stuff was just so good. And I don't know, I think I just read it at the right time. I'm definitely in the mood to read like fantasy, romantasy and stuff because it is kind of chilly out and I do have a lot of time. So that is my first book of this video down. It was just so much fun. It was a great time. I loved it. And then like I said, I am starting Metal Slinger just because it's a lot shorter and I am on page 8. I didn't read anything yesterday, like at all. I thought I was going to and I just did not feel like it. So we are on page 8. Yeah, I'm hoping to make a decent dent into this book today just because I want to read today. So I'm hoping to make a decent dent. I have no thoughts on it because I'm, again, 8 pages in. Right from the first page, it just dives into the plot. And basically, from what I've gotten from 8 pages, is that they're on a ship. Forgot our main girl's first name. All I know is that there's a guy named Kai. And I feel like if his name is Kai, that means he might be the MMC. Maybe. But it's following this girl. Don't know her name. I just don't remember it. They could have said it. I don't know. And they're like on a ship. And she's with her like classmates on a ship. And they just like docked onto land and they're going to this market. And like they're all like in awe by this land. So I don't know if they've never been on land before. And this is their first time seeing it. Or it's their first time seeing this specific land. I don't know. So that's all I can really give. I'm probably entirely wrong about it. So I'm curious as to if Kai, the guy that I've been talking about, is going to be the MMC because the way that he's described and talked about is like how an MMC would be talked about, if that makes any sense. But it's just so early into the book that I'm like, there's no way he's the MMC, but he could be. I don't know. But I'm like, I don't want to become attached to this guy. I'm on page 15. Okay, so I only went like a couple more pages and right now it's talking about this guy that she's seeing at the market. This is her second time making eye contact with him and like seeing him. And this is his description. Dark hair, dark eyes, a gold ring in one nostril, lips I somehow know often say crude things, or maybe it's his entire demeanor that tells me that, but there's something inherently vulgar in his beauty. And that, folks, I think we just met our actual MMC. Hi guys, so I just got back from a walk and I'm currently eating some oatmeal, which I haven't had in a while, and then I'm also watching an old video of Destiny's. But I wanted to give a reading update. I don't have much because I literally fell asleep within like 10 minutes when I started reading yesterday. I'm on page 68. So basically I feel like there's going to be a love triangle because Miss Girl is feeling conflicted about the guy that she's known her entire life and this other guy who she literally never had a conversation with. She just saw him and she can't stop drawing him. Like, she can't stop drawing him. So, and then something happened at, oh, so they don't live on a ship. They just live like in the middle of the ocean, I guess, kind of like an island. The market they go to once a year I'm sorry if it's really loud. The market they go to once a year to get like food and things and like imports. And so that was like the market that I was talking about. And so that's all of the information I've gotten. That's really it. Yeah, no, I'm liking it. I saw a TikTok yesterday that was like her reaction to reading this book, and that was enough to get me to actually want to pick it up because it is now Tuesday and I started this book 3 days ago and I'm only on page 68. So we're gonna see how much I can get through today, and I'm going to eat my breakfast and then read a little bit. Okay, I was right. It is going to be a love triangle because Kai just punched him in the face. Hi guys, so I am 27% through now. I'm on page 130 and I just want to give a little update because we're learning a lot of information right now about our FMC's past, Bryn, that's her name, Bryn's past. Basically, when she was 7, she like washed ashore in Alea, I don't know. I'm really bad at pronouncing things, but she washed ashore on this like island, I guess it is. Don't know who her parents are, don't know what happened, don't know where she came from, all of this stuff. And you are learning about her past right now. And you're also learning about the people that she grew up with on this like island. But basically, Kai is reminding me of a specific character from a popular fantasy book, not any SJM book. Okay, of a different character, and that's all I'll give. And this other guy, the soldier, I love him, and things are just moving. Like, things are just going. There is no lull in the story or anything like that, at least as of right now. I mean, I'm 27% through, but usually in fantasy books, this is when there's a lull or something like that. So I'm really liking this, like really like this. Like, this is a bingeable book. So bingeable, but I'm so excited to continue this. I just wanted to give a little bit of an update of basically the tides are turning. The tides are turning and Brennan's really confused and I feel really bad for her right now. Guys, this book is so good. It's so good. I'm only 32% of the way through now. It is so good. I've said that like 6 times, but genuinely, but I am loving it so much. Like, so much. It's like a concerning amount how much I'm liking it. It's not just because of the romance in it and our 2 main characters like bickering and like, you know, but I'm also giddy over the fact about how much I love this like story and plot. Like, I'm shocked. Genuinely, I'm shocked. I haven't read a romantasy in a bit where like I actually cared about what was gonna happen instead of just what was gonna happen to our characters. So I'm feeling very excited. But right now we're at a part where I think the tides, I mean, when I last talked, the tides were already turning, but now we're going to be getting into an entirely different plot line and setting. So I'm very excited for that. Hi, so I am finally over 200 pages into Metal Slinger. I read quite a bit yesterday, probably like 150 pages yesterday, and it is so good, guys. It is so good. I don't know if it's just because it's moving really fast. It's just moving at a pace that I personally love. I do enjoy fantasies where it's slow and there's world building and political buildup. I do enjoy those, But sometimes you just need a fantasy where everything is described blatantly in your face and everything is happening very swiftly. So basically there are two different like territories. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but the little like beachy ocean territory, I guess. Hey? So there's that territory, then there's Kenta, and Kenta is the market area that I was talking about. They traveled to Kenta, that was the market. And so there's like a peace treaty between the two because there was a war between the two territories, and now they have a peace treaty. And there's a peace treaty between the two. Oh my god, Nala is kneading right now. Okay, well, looks like I'm moving my camera. Territories have a peace treaty, and then there is Bryn, who has absolutely no family. She was found when she was 7. She like washed ashore on a boat when she was 7 years old, and Kai's family took her in, and Kai's family are the rulers of this one territory, and so they took her in and all that stuff. And then right now she is on a little adventure with Mr. Soldier Man. Also, I was completely right about my theories yesterday with these characters. So this book, I feel like my reading has been doing okay, but I feel like I haven't been super giddy about a book in a while. She's just laying next to me. I feel like I haven't felt this giddy about a book in a very long time. This isn't even like the big part. I don't like, we still have like 3-4 chapters left, so this isn't even like the big reveal or big, I don't know what's supposed to happen, but people say that it's crazy, so I don't know. I have like 20 minutes left in the book. Guys, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm so excited. Last 2 chapters, okay? What? Hi guys, so as you saw yesterday I finished Metal Slinger, and obviously I recorded my reaction to the ending, and I am not being dramatic in any way when I say that I never would have guessed that in 100 years. I knew there was going to be a twist, but I genuinely did not expect that at all. I will say that I do want to reread the book possibly before the next one comes out, just because I want to see if there were like any hints whatsoever hinting at what happened, because I do not understand how that was a thing. It left me shocked but also very confused at the same time, to where I don't really know how I feel about the ending. I mean, I appreciate the ending 100%. It happened so fast, but that's what this book was. This book threw you right into it. The first 2 sentences of it threw you directly into the story, so I'm not necessarily surprised with how fast everything happened. We have 1 more book to go. I listed off 4 books at the beginning of the video, and that was Quicksilver, Metal Slinger, City of Gods and Monsters, and then Of Blood and Ether. I think I'm gonna save City of Gods and Monsters for like leisurely reading, but Of Blood and Ether is one that I've only seen a handful of times, and the people who have recommended it swear by it, so that's the next book that I'm going to be reading. I haven't started it yet, but the MMC is a shadow wielder, so that was enough to get me to read it. I don't really know the premise about it. Let me look it up on Goodreads of what the synopsis is. A spy master who can't seem to stay away for as long as she can remember, Arkan Asher, has been searching for answers driven by an insatiable hunger, a need to understand the meaning behind her dangerous arcane secrets. She's finally taken that leap into the unknown, leaving her simple life behind to attend the Arcane Stadium, a prestigious college of magical arts and sciences nestled in the heart of Sophrosin, the city of the gods. That was what caught my eye yesterday because I read it half asleep last night. Her going to a school of magic and arts is what caught my eye, and it seemed very interesting. And then Captain of the Elder Guard, Kieran Vasari, scarred by his past but dedicated to safeguarding Sophrosin, the city, whatever, the S word. Kieran's self-imposed isolation is easily masked by charm and cocksure energy. Strange disappearances have kept his cadre busy as of late, and yet the captain finds himself sidetracked, distracted by the inexplicable allure of a certain golden-eyed... Okay. The dark threads of prophecy were woven long ago, and the ties that bind just may be what it takes to mend these broken star-crossed souls, or what forges a deadly bond that could damn them all. So the next book that I will be reading on my handy dandy Kindle, which I love so much, she's taking forever to wake up recently. She is getting her use as of recently is my Kindle, let me tell you, if you can't tell by how slow she is. I'm super excited to start this book, but I'm very sad that this is the last book in this video because I just want to keep going. I love, love, love reading romanticises, especially on my Kindle. I love reading them on my Kindle, so I'm super excited about this one. Hi guys, so it's now a few days later and I'm finally picking up Of Blood and Ether. I've picked it up, I just haven't been reading it that much. I just haven't had that much time to read, and reading 3 romanticises, fantasies like back to back to back is confusing my brain a little bit. Nonetheless, I am really enjoying this book. I am 40% through the book, and also if you see my little charm, I changed it out and it's a little Ace of Hearts and I love her. Okay, let me grab my phone because I've been writing notes down. I've been writing notes of all the things I like about this book because I didn't want to keep giving updates when I didn't know what was happening, but I wanted to remember all of the things that I liked about it. So here we are. So like I said, I'm 40% of the way through the book, and this book is about Kieran and Arkan, and it's a dual point of view, which I love, and they're very short chapters too. It's like 6-7 minutes long per chapter, and I love when it's a short chapter so much. But basically, we have Arkan, who is a light conduit. It just sounds weird coming off of the tongue, I guess. This entire vlog is just me mispronouncing things. You're welcome. Basically, she's a light conduit, so she's a light wielder, and then we have Kieran, who is a shadow wielder. And this book opens up with this kid. He is the son of the king of shadows, and I'm pretty sure it's Kieran. It hasn't been disclosed yet. It's 100% Kieran, but it just hasn't been disclosed. So it means Kieran is a prince, okay? But he is actually he is the captain of the Elder Guard. Basically, it starts off with Kieran, what I think is Kieran. we're just gonna say Kieran, but he basically visited these crones where he was being judged if he was worthy of something. I still don't really understand what it is. And his dad is like, no, he's a weakling. There's no way it's him, blah, 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 blah. And turns out he's the one who's worthy. They like tattoo his back and stuff. They're saying that he's part of this prophecy and that he's the harbinger. And if you've read some fantasy book where harbinger is an element in the book, harbinger is basically, I think it's the bringer of death or something like that. And basically they're like, instead of one harbinger, we're having two harbingers. Their prophecy and their destiny and their fate is to meet each other, be the harbinger. So instead of one person, which is what the king, his dad, thought it was going to be, he thought that his son was going to be the one harbinger. Come to find out, the crones are like, nah, we're doing two. And I'm pretty sure that's Arkin. And Arkin, not only does she have the element of light, but she has all 6 of them. So she has shadows, fire, water, earth, like she has all of them, and that has never been recorded. She also does not know her parents, so she was brought up by a scholar. So the woman who brought her up was a scholar at the Arcane Stadium, which is basically this like really prestigious, I'm gonna call it a university. It's like an education place, and so she seeks out this place to learn more about herself, to learn more about the world. So she travels to this place to study and become a conduit of her magic and all of this stuff. And so then we have the captain of the Elder Guard, who is Kieran, and he again is a shadow wielder, and shadow wielders and light wielders are very uncommon. That's the backstory. And like I said, she's just trying to learn more about her world. And then Kieran is dealing with these children who are disappearing, and they're also conduits. So they're trying to figure out the link between that. So there's that storyline going on. There's Arkin's storyline going on where we're learning about the history of this world. Right now they are agreed to be friends because neither of them want a relationship, nothing like that. And so they just decided to be friends. And I kind of like that more than enemies to lovers right now, just because I feel like enemies to lovers is a little bit overdone. Sometimes, not all the time, I still love it. When it's a friends to lovers and you just see them building a relationship with each other and a connection with each other, and there's still tension, but they're learning about each other and they are just hanging out, and oh, I love it. Anyways, so that is basically what's going on. Basically, you know, in simple terms. Totally didn't just ramble for like 10 minutes. But let me just talk about the vibes of this book, the aesthetic of this book, because I'm just imagining, honestly, a little bit. I don't know if you guys watched the Fate Wink saga on Netflix, which got canceled, but it's fine. But I don't know if you guys have watched that, but like how they're going to school and it's like that type of stuff, and there's like training and whatever. That's the same vibes that this is giving. I'm just imagining like a prestigious university and like huge libraries and cafes and like woods around them, and I just am loving the vibes right now. I'm eating it up. I don't know, I'm just really liking it. And then Kieran and her, like I said, are hanging out and they're going to like these cafes and going on walks. It's giving me what I want it to give, and it's cozy. I don't know, I just really like them. And Kieran is absolutely hilarious. Their banter goes crazy, I have so many highlights in this book. I'm just gonna scroll really fast so you can't see it, but like, oh my god. And some of it's information, so like I could remember some things so I can look back on it, and also to tell you guys so I could remember, but most of it is just banter and them talking and their inner monologue. I don't know, it's so funny. And they're also using mail sprites where they use their magic to send like scrolls to each other, like messages to each other. He uses a raven as his mail sprite, which is him using his shadows to, again, bring an object to her. And then she uses a fox. And I just think that's so cute. I love the fact that they're sending like little notes back to each other. guys, so I finally finished Of Blood and Ether. I finished it last night. And do I have some thoughts on this book? So I didn't give that many updates on this book because I was kind of reading it at weird times and it took me forever to finish this book just because I was really struggling picking up a book to read, like just struggling so hard. It had nothing to do with this book. I just felt myself falling into like a mini slump where I was just kind of burnt out just a little bit. But yesterday I binge read like 300 pages probably and oh my god. So last time I talked to you guys, I said that it was very low stakes. Like it was really just Arkin studying and her and Kieran like building this friendship and hanging out, and it was just a very cozy fantasy. But there is this prophecy that is a big part of the book. It isn't talked about too much. It is talked about at the beginning of the book obviously, and then in the last like 100 pages of the book it's brought up a lot, but other than that it's not really talked about. So it was, like I said, a romance with a side of fantasy, but at the same time it was way more than a romance for the first like 70% of the book, where they were just really building a friendship. Now they knew that they were kidding themselves when they thought that they could successfully have a friendship, but they did have a friendship for about a year until they decided to say F it. But if you're a fantasy reader, you know that enemies to lovers is the most popular trope when it comes to fantasies. For obvious reasons, it's a great trope, okay? But it can be overdone. One that I have not seen that much is a friends to lovers, okay? One of my new favorite fantasy tropes. I love romance friends to lovers, but I don't know if I've ever really read a fantasy where it's friends to lovers. But I loved it. I love that they built a friendship before a romance, and I don't know. I will say that the last like 150 pages got like really spicy. Like for like, the chapters are about like 5 pages long maybe. They're not long at all, but it was probably about 6 chapters in a row of just spicy. It kind of went 0 to 100 when it came to the spice, so I don't know if I liked that too much. I'm a girly who does enjoy some spice in books, okay, but it kind of just felt like, well, I mean, it had a long time coming. It wasn't like out of nowhere, but it did just happen like all of a sudden. And then the last 100 pages were like, what, like there was so much going on. It was incredible. So this is a 5-star book. To do a quick little recap, Quicksilver, I thought was gonna be a 5-star. I rated it a 5-star at first. And then I sat on it and I was like, no, there's no way. I even said, we're just not gonna think too much on it. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know who I thought I was by doing that. Genuinely. I think too much. So obviously, it wasn't a 5-star. It was, I'm sat on a 4.75. It just didn't give me that like feeling, you know? Like I loved the plot and I loved our characters. I can see the next book potentially being even better than the first one. Found myself not really thinking about it too much afterwards. Loved the book still, but not a 5-star. Metal Slinger, on the other hand, I up until the last like 50 pages, I was like, yeah, this is for sure 5-star. It was a great time. I loved it. I loved the speed of it. I loved our romance. Well, after sitting on the ending for a little bit, I was left more confused than shocked, which I was obviously still shocked, but I kind of just was like, how? Like it just made no sense to me, and I'm sure when I do a reread, because I will do a reread once the second one comes out, but I just genuinely don't get it. And I think that it was a ballsy move was the ending, and I think that the ending was great, and I loved that it was something that I don't know if I've ever really seen before. I don't know. I was again left more confused than anything, which I'm sure if I read it on a different day I would have probably, you know, loved it. But I don't know, the ending docked it a little bit for me, just because again I loved it. It just felt so rushed almost. Like, I wish that we had just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Not even explanation. I don't think there needs to be an explanation until the next book. But, like, I just wish there was a little bit more. Okay? So, hence why it is not a 5-star. So, that's a 4.5. This book, on the other hand, it was, like I said, low stakes. Which, don't get me wrong, I love a high stakes fantasy. I really do. But when the past 2 books were high stakes fantasy, this just felt like a great little breather. And then I liked that the ending, it actually started getting a little bit more high stakes, and the plot twisted and changed, and again, there was more things happening. But I liked that for the first like 400 pages, it was literally just like a cozy fantasy in my head. So I don't know. I love that book. I think I read it at the perfect time. I think it is a great romantasy. Great romantasy. I can't wait to see what the author does with the second book, because the ending was just, the ending pissed me off, but in a great way. So yeah, my favorite book of this reading vlog. I recommend every single book that I read in this reading vlog. Genuinely, they were so good, and there's so many good romantasies out there on Kindle Unlimited if you just dig a little bit. So that concludes this reading vlog, unfortunately. I hope to have some more reading vlogs soon, but I am going on a trip to North Carolina in 3 days for a week. I'll be vlogging that trip, but I'm gonna be taking kind of like a week-long break of posting. Something I did right before I turned on my camera was make a bookstagram, and I'll put the handle on the screen right now, and I'll also link it down below, just because I always post on my like personal Instagram book things. Oh, I will still be posting book things on my personal account, because my personal account is still me. It is still the things that I like and I like to post, which is books. But there are some times where I'm like, the people on here, one, don't care about me posting all the time, and two, I would like to have a community of people who do care about books and what I have to say about books, and where we can talk about books. So I did just make a bookstagram, especially because TikTok might be getting deleted. I need somewhere else to voice my opinions about books. So check that out if you'd like. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.